Welcome back to our channel, guys. Today's topic is all about architecture of Inca in South America. Okay, Inca architecture is widely known for its fine masonry, which features precisely cut and shaped stones closely fitted without mortar. The most common composite form in Inca architecture was the cancha, a rectangular enclosure housing three or more rectangular buildings placed in symmetrically around a central courtyard. Ollantaytambo is a town and an Inca archaeological site in southern Peru, some 60 kilometers northwest of the city of Cusco. The citadel of Machu Picchu, with Huayna Picchu in the background. The Huayna Picchu is the tallest mountain as tall as the Machu Picchu. Machu Picchu in Peru. This is their, we can compare today as the city plan. It consists of cemetery, funerary, house of guards, Sun Temple, Royal Tomb, noble houses, ritual fountain, royal palace, prison area, temple, industrial zone, factory houses, and sacred rock. This is their uphill stairway to their city, Machu Picchu. Have you noticed, guys, about the fitting of the rock, cut rock? It is perfectly fitted like of the puzzle. Their buildings are made of local gray-white granite. Okay, this rock is granite. The quality of the stonework varies considerably, and not simply because secret buildings always displayed greater craftsmanship than residential and other mundane buildings. The largest megalithic blocks and finest stonework are always found in the lower levels of the building, as at other sides, certain structures or parts of them undoubtedly predate the Incas. So they have their different masonry styles. Below is a large rock, and on top are a smaller cut. So basically, they have knowledge in engineering. That's why these structures still stood today, because of their science of construction. This structure until today puzzle the scientists. How they come up without using heavy equipment, how they lift and put these pieces of very huge cut rock and put them together like a puzzle. So it's really a puzzle to us watching this structure. Just see the proportion of the people above, on top. This is amazing structures. Until now, a lot of tourists visited this place just to see these big stones. See, guys, even a piece of card or a paper cannot penetrate into the joint of these rocks. Just similar with the construction of the pyramids of Egypt. Same things, same techniques of fitting rocks, that even a piece of card cannot penetrate into its joint. And here are the terraces of their city. They learned how to do walls without using mortars or clay, just filing big rocks. Like this one. They built with locally available rock from limestone or granite. But notice guys how they fitted each rock. There is no similar size rock here. Every rock has different size. So that's the mystery of the construction. Why is that they use different sizes of rock? See guys the proportion of the car and the rock they are using. So big, so huge. How did they manage it to bring it up on top of the mountain? So that's the mystery. That's why the conspiracy theory comes in here that aliens helped them to build these temples. Like the Pyramid of Egypt, some people said that with the help of alien, the gravity of the earth during the construction of these big rocks or big temples, there is no gravity of the earth of this place during that time, so that rocks will simply float on the air because there is no gravity. So there must be a machine that controls the gravity on this place where these temples using big rocks are being constructed long time ago. How I wish I can come into this place and see in person these huge, gigantic rocks that being fitted together. So this is the typical Inca doorway still used in the town today. This is the wall of 6 monoliths. Imagine this guys, these are huge, gigantic piece of rock. And the mystery is that how did they able to bring it up here from the farther quarries? And notice guys the uniformity of windows. Windows are with the same sizes, but the rocks are different sizes. So amazing architecture. The Inca walls had numerous design details that help protect them against collapsing if there is an earthquake. Doors and windows are trapezoidal and tilt inward from bottom to top, corner usually rounded, inside corners often inclined slightly into the rooms, and L-shaped blocks often were used to tie outside corners. These walls do not rise straight from the bottom to top but are offset slightly from row to row. The largest stone in the wall of 6 monoliths is about 4.3 meter high and 2.1 meter wide, 1.8 meter thick, and weighs about 50 tons each. The 6 monoliths are joined with narrow fillet stones as a style found nowhere else in the Inca Empire. Wow, these are really huge gigantic rocks. The Ollantaytambo Bath of Princess Istibagi. So this is the bath of the princess. So beautifully done. Detail of drainage canal here on top. Side of the dry moat. This is the moat. Stone nail which was used to tie the straw roofs. Where is that stone nails? Which removable doors were secured. And where is the door? Well, if you see guys, if you watch the movie with who was that actor? Cage, the treasure of, I forget the title of the movie, about the treasure of Mayans in America. That's the underground temple with lots of gold. Now guys, have you seen the movie called The National Treasures with the actor Cage on that movie, and with Angelina Jolie, of course, if I'm not mistaken? That's a beautiful movie portraying the city of ancient Aztecs, Incans, and Mayas with lots of gold. The city of gold. And that was buried underground in some part of the mountains in America. This is the so-called step pyramid. Did you know guys that the largest pyramid in the world is not found in Egypt but in Mexico? It is called the Pyramid of the Sun, and it looks like this. It is a step pyramid made of big rocks in Mexico guys. It's not in Egypt. It is just recently discovered that the largest pyramid is not the Great Pyramid of Khufu, but the Pyramids of the Sun located in Mexico. Okay, it was built by either Incas or Aztecs or Mayans. The Ollantaytambo granaries is Tevades. So this is their granaries where they put their corns on harvest. Placement of these trapezoidal openings were primarily functional, but occasionally aesthetic arrangement might dominate the placement of trapezoids if there was no conflict with functionality. The playful handling of flowing water, sparkling streams cascade from stone spouts, sometimes decorated with carved designs, into joyfully splashing basins, then flow through quite unnecessarily complex stone channels to pour into next fountain or bath. Okay, so this is how they cut the stone. First, they put holes of lines and then cut it. That's according to theory. The conquistadores admired Inca stonework. Conquistadores are the Spanish or Spaniards that conquered South America during the 16th century. So, conquistadores admired Inca stonework but not just admired, they looted all the gold of Incas, Mayans, and Aztec. The purpose of the conquistadores to come to South America is only for gold. That's the only thing why they want to discover the place called there is a certain place in South America that is called gold. So conquistadores led by Christopher Columbus came to South America not only to invade, not to introduce the religion, but of course to get or to loot all of the golds of the emperor of Incas, Mayas, and Aztecs. That's the short story. But they admired the Inca stonework sufficiently to employ Inca stone cutters and techniques in colonial buildings. And many of ancient Inca walls in Cusco belong to the colonial periods, such as this wall, carved snakes, stone in an Incaic shapes. The pick marks, or more properly percussion marks, are obvious on much Inca stonework. It is assumed also that the Incas knew the technique of splitting rock using wooden wedges placed in cracks, then soaked in water until the expanding wood split the rock, a method developed independently by many ancient societies. The Inca could also drill holes through the rock, such as in this ring of unknown function projecting from a wall of Machu Picchu. Holes were probably drilled using grit and some sort of pistol stone. Holes drilled through rock are narrowest in the middle and flare outwards, as drilling with a pistol or a grit would inevitably wallow out the first drill. The glory of Inca stone cutting lies in their ability to cut unusual shapes and fit them tightly together, as exemplified by the famous 12-cornered stones found in the wall of the palace of the Inca Ruca. It is both a cliche and a verify that the stones are closely fitted that knife or blade cannot be jammed between them. How did they achieve these amazing close tolerances? So guys, even the knives cannot go or penetrate in between the joint of these rocks. Inca used a technique known as scribing and coping to fit their wonderful jigsaw puzzle stones. This technique is used to shape dovetail joints of logs. The fact that Inca walls tend to incline inwards by 3 degrees to 5 degrees also contributes to their stability. So there is an angle, guys, of Inca wall. It is inclined going inward 3 degrees, maximum of 5 degrees. So that contributes to the stability of their walls. Some Inca buildings were constructed using mortar, but by Inca standards, this was quick, shoddy construction and was not used to building important structures. Peru is highly seismic land, meaning there's a lot of earthquake, and mortar-free constructions was more earthquake resistant than using mortar. The stones of the dry stones walls built by the Incas can move slightly and resettle without the walls collapsing. These are the design of their house. and the view from the other angle of the Machu Picchu city. The interior of a restored Inca building. View at the summit of Putukusi Mountain from the house of the priest. A very nice view, just like you are living in top of Mount Olympus. Temple of the Sun, the only circular building with ritual meaning in Machu Picchu. Here guys, the Temple of the Sun, the only circular structure. Inside, this is just the effect of the camera, guys. The photographer uses a GoPro or fisheye camera. That is why the effect is like this. Observe, guys, how these big rocks are held and filed and fitted together. This one is the Tambo Makai, a site for ritual bathing. Consists of massive stone walls with elegant niches, band a series of water fountains cascading from channels hidden within the structure. So there are a lot of waters here in this part of the mountain. Close up of their impeccable masonry. There you go with the Inca architecture. That's all for today, folks, and don't forget there is questions to be answered at the end of this video. Okay class, here are the questions you should answer on a piece of white bond paper short size, and send your answered sheet to our Google email, and keep the hard copy for it will be collected a couple of weeks before midterm exam. Okay, so let's start with the questions. Number one, what are some questions? Make that. Number one, what made the Inca architecture unique? Number two, what type of architecture did the Inca have? Three, what was impressive about the Inca architecture? Why is the Inca considered great civilization? What does the word Inca mean? Why was the Inca construction impressive? Who built the Machu Picchu? What weapons did the Inca use? How did the Inca eat? How did Inca build Machu Picchu? Alright, so there you go with the 10 questions, guys. And don't forget to subscribe also and make a comment on every video that I posted. Your comments serve your attendance. Alright, I'll see you on my next video. Bye for now.